chemist, okay, that's what I do. So I'm going to talk to you, this is what I actually am trained to do, chemistry, and I work with chemicals a lot. I'm a special type of chemist. When I was trained to do things with magnets and chemicals, and I'm going to teach you a little bit about that, but I'm going to talk about all the magnets that you have inside you, because you might not know it, but you are full of magnets, full of them. And I'm talking billions and trillions and more than that. So I'm going to tell you about where they are, because they're all over the place, and you will be learning about them, but inside you. Next, please. This is what you know. You've seen these. You've seen them in the books. You've probably played with them. What's this stuck at the end?
Iron filings.
And what property does iron have that makes it stick to a magnet? It's
Magnetic.
magnetic. Okay, perfect. Next, please. We've learned about this. What's this?
Compass.
And how does that point in different directions? It does it because of?
Magnetic field.
Okay, and where is the magnetic field that the compass is
On the
detecting?
Earth's
Magnetic
poles.
Like this, right?
Yeah.
So this is massive, right? We're standing on that thing. We don't know that it's moving. We can't see that it's curved. It's massive. It's a massive, massive magnet. And this is the type of thing that you've been handling. Well, I'm going to tell you about things that are so small that you will never ever see them, but you have them in you. Next slide, please. So, how many magnets do you have in you? Have a guess, Taylor. Never mind.
Sorry.
Okay. How many?
5 billion.
5 billion. Ooh, good number.
25,000.
25,000 is a good number. We could go on all day. Believe me, you're not going to get it. Next, please. Did you know if you weighed 150 pounds, the number of atoms in you is 7 with 27 zeros after it? Okay?
Oh my God. That's a lot.
That's thousand, that's million, that's billion, that's trillion, and we're all the way out here. That's how many atoms you have inside you.
Oh my God. What
Now,
number is that?
yeah, it's a big number, right? Let's think about how many atoms you have inside of you versus how many stars there are in the universe. Because we know when we look out there, we're not seeing everything. Next slide, please. We actually have less stars in the universe than you have atoms inside you. Think about that. This is 10 with 21 zeros after it. A big number, but you carry more atoms than that inside you. In fact, you probably carry almost this many magnets inside you. Did you know that? Does anybody here walk around going, I'm magnetic? Got it? Oh, you do? Well, I understand. Some of us do that. I have one of those over there. He's my son.
Wait, what?
Next, please.
Two of them over here.
So here we are. Look at how many more zeros you have in atoms versus stars in the universe. These are big, big numbers. You can't imagine them. You're not going to sit down and count to that in a day, a week, a year, a decade, your life. You're not going to do it. So it's a big number. Next, please. So there are more atoms in your body than stars in the universe, and every molecule of water that you have. How much water do you drink in a day? A lot. I'm going to drink water just while I'm doing this, and every time I drink this, I'm putting magnets in. Every single drop of water has trillions of magnets in it. And here's how. So you've heard about atoms, right? Have you heard about molecules? Yes, okay. So this is a water molecule. It's just an image. It's a picture. It's not a real one. It's like a cartoon. This is the oxygen. What do you call water as a chemical? Yes. H2O. That's what?
H2O.
Yeah, but this part here is the O, and these are the H and H. Two H's and an O. These things here, these hydrogen atoms, every hydrogen atom has a special property. Every hydrogen atom is a magnet. Every one. So every time I drink this, I'm putting in gazillions of magnets. The question is, what can you do when you have gazillions of magnets inside you? You have a question?
Yeah. If you were to, why can't you see the molecules?
Well, you can, but you have to use very, very special devices. So there are microscopes today where you can actually see one single molecule at a time. In fact, last year I did work on this where we took a molecule and we made it. They looked like the Olympic rings. And we took a photograph of one molecule sitting on the surface. If you ever want to hear about that, I'll come back and give you that talk. But you can see single molecules there. Our eyes are nowhere near that good. They're so tiny. So tiny. Next slide, please. So what can you do with these inside magnets? Anyone want to have some ideas? What can you do? Yes?
You can magnetize yourself with a really strong magnet.
You can. No, she's right. And in fact, here's what happens. If I magnetize you and I move you quickly in the magnets, your eyes are going to start rolling, your brain will start misfiring, your body will start moving, because you're disturbing the way your nerve signals move inside your brain. So yes, you can be what they call polarized. You get put in a magnet and all of your little magnets go, swing, they line up. They line up. Okay, I need somebody who is strong but gentle. So by that I mean they can hold an egg like that for 10 minutes and not drop it. Gentle enough but strong enough. Can you come up? All right, so we're going to do a little experiment to show you magnets inside you, okay? Let's imagine this is a magnetic field. So this is a big magnet that you get put in, okay? This is you. This is also a magnet, right? These are magnets. So you hold that. Now hold it gently and hold it in the middle so it's hanging like that. Now, watch what happens. Pulls, right? Now I'm going to flip my magnet around. Well, south, I just flipped it. Now what happens? Okay? Now, in the world of hydrogen magnets, there are only two positions a hydrogen magnet can go when you put it in a big field. It can either go up or it can go down. It can't go in between. Okay, it can only go up or down. Watch what happens. What's it start to do? Tell the kid what it's starting to do. Is it trying to move away?
Yeah.
Is it rotating a little bit?
Yeah.
Okay, now try to stick it to my magnet this way. Will it stick?
No.
No? It's not sticking, right? Now turn it over totally and see if it sticks. So turn it that way. Stuck. Okay? So what happens is the following. Magnets can only be in two positions, up or down. Okay? But it doesn't want to stay in this position. It doesn't want to stay. It wants to flip and go the other way. That's what they call a transition. It's just a word, but it means two states. It goes from one place to another. That's a very important thing. Because I can put in energy, I can take that magnet that's inside us, the billions of them, and I can turn them to make them align with the field. So when I put you in a big magnet, all your magnets are going to go ring, stand up like soldiers. But I can put energy in and I can flip it. But immediately I flip it, it wants to go back to where it was. It wants to go back to a place where it's more relaxed, where it has lower energy. This is an important thing. I'll get to why it's important in a moment. Next slide, please. Now that guy's got magnets. Right?
Oh my goodness. Oh, I think magnets.
Now, the last thing you want to do, I'm telling you, you got magnets in you, and you might go home and go, wow, I want more magnets than everyone else in my class. I want to be more magnetic. Okay?
Warning.
Don't eat magnets.
Especially 15 minutes apart.
Don't eat magnets. And here's why, right? These are fun magnets. These are great. These are magnetic balls, okay? Wonderful. But what you should never do is take in two of those magnets. And Taylor's going to come up and tell you why. What do you say? They're only tiny. But if you put those in, why would you not want to put those in your body? As small as they are.
Because if you put this one in and then wait a few minutes after this one goes in, they'll close on your intestines and you won't be able to breathe and you'll suffocate and die.
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
It will. If you put those two in together, they would stick and they would go right through your body, and we know where it goes. Okay? But if you put them in 15 minutes apart, you'll have one here, and they will attract each other, and they will pinch inside your body and can kill you. Don't eat magnets. Okay? You can die.
It's called magnetic implants.
Okay. Next slide, please. So, who's had an X-ray? Right, right. Is X-ray based on magnets?
Yeah.
No.
Is X-rays based on what type of ray?
Egg.
Self-descriptive, right? You know, X-rays are from X-rays. So you've all had one, and you know what it looks like. Must be Santa Claus, right? It's got a very strong back. You can see things here. Can you see his heart? Or his liver? You see any of his organs? No. And the reason being is that X-rays come through and they hit something that is what they call dense, very, very solid, and it bounces back. His belt, his spine, his ribs, but you don't see any of his inside organs. So if I wanted to use X-rays to take a look at his heart and his brain, that's the wrong thing to do. Does anyone know anything else about X-rays, why you don't want to do it all the time? Yeah?
Because like when I first got I get a lot of X-rays, and my dad says, and my mom usually doesn't want me to take an X-ray because it's bad for your body.
Yep, these are rays. They go through your body. They are radiation, and they're pretty bad radiation for you. Okay, so you don't want to get a lot of these. Next slide, please. That's an X-ray of a skull. Believe me, you do not want X-rays going in and out of the skull over and over and over again. It's bad. It's really bad for you. There will be times when you need them, and if you don't have too many in a year, it's absolutely okay. But you can't have hundreds and hundreds of these things without suffering some bad results. Next slide, please. Who's had one of those? You've had an MRI? You've had one? What is it? What's it called?
MRI.
Why did you have it?
Because I had headaches.
You had headaches. Aha. Next slide, please. So maybe you had something like this where they put your head in, yes, and they took a look. Now you would use an MRI to look at the head. You had one too?
I broke my arm.
You broke your arm and they used an MRI for that? You too? A lot of hurting going on in this school. Oh, yes?
Oh, yeah, you know.
Yeah, I know. Okay, so next one. Next slide, please.
I broke my nose.
This is what you see. That's the difference of when you look inside somebody's brain. You can see the brain, you can see the stem, you can see the tongue, you can see so many of the internal organs. It becomes very, very powerful. Okay? And here we have an example. I'm going to need somebody who's got good eyes for reading small print.
Dad. Dad.
Can you come up, please? All right. I'm going to hand these out afterwards so you can take a look if we have time. So this is looking inside somebody's brain. Whose brain is it? Do you know? What does that say? Anthony Williams.
That's him.
Yeah, it's pretty small. Look at the size of that one. About the size of a grapefruit. Not much in there, really. It depends where you look. Depends where the slice was in. The reason they did this is because I had what they call a tumor. I had a tumor in my head. It wasn't in my brain, it was hanging out here, but they had to do this to figure out whether they could cut it out easily. It's gone, it's fine, it's no problem.
Don't touch me.
Next slide, please. So look at the difference. Very, very different techniques. Both of them are very valuable for different reasons. This is based on something that we were just talking about. Next, please. Who's that?
Einstein.
No, Einstein. Next, please. No. Yeah, look at all that empty space in there. All filled up with donut sugar. Next slide, please. So, who wants to see my brain? All right, when we're done, I will hand out. I've got lots of these. You can see, there's not much in there. Let's go, please. Next slide. So, look, MRI. Resonance is the word in the middle. I'm not going to trouble you with that, but it's this ability to flip things is related to resonance. But magnetic imaging, make photos, images, things like this from magnets. That's what it is. It's not just the fact you're in a magnet, it's the fact that they're using your magnets to create it. Next slide, please. Look at this. Look at the detail that you can get when you take these scans and you assemble them using computers, and you can look into knees, and you can look at degradation, and you can look into feet, and skulls inside the skull. That's my brain trying to escape.
That would be bad.
I'm losing my mind, exactly. And this, of course, is how they do it. Next slide, please. So X-rays pass through the body, they hit something that's dense, and that's where they stop, and it creates a white image. But MRI comes from seeing your inside magnets, and primarily it's from something inside you that they look at. Next slide, please. So magnetic images made from something magnetic that you have. So what's in your body that there's lots of that is magnetic?
Wait, actually, I've never had an X-ray before.
Ah, congratulations. You're doing well. You will.
I've never had blood.
Blood is in your body, yeah. So for sure there are aspects of that that are magnetic. What might be in the blood that makes it liquid-like?
Oh.
It is. Shout it out. Shout it
Air.
out.
Oxygen. Water.
Water.
H2O.
Next slide, please. H2O, because every one of those hydrogen atoms in the water is going to be a magnet. 70% of your body is made out of water. So it's everywhere. And you can make very, very good pictures with that. Next, please. But it's not the only thing that has hydrogen. So while I'm talking about water in your body to make images, believe me, you can do this on all types of things. And this is what I was trained in. This is my job for many years. Methane. Where do you find methane? Of course my son knows. Where do you find methane?
Oh, okay. No, you can count somebody else.
Come on, Tay, don't be embarrassed. It's in your toot.
I told you.
It's the truth. It's the truth. Okay? This is sugar. This is a type of sugar. These are hydrogen atoms, so they can respond. These are hydrogen atoms on sugar. These are just pictures. They're just little cartoons. That's not what they look like in reality. They're these little tiny things that you can't see. But this is how we represent them. What we'll picture them as. Next, please. Okay, whose mom and dad goes and gets their cholesterol tested? Thank you very much for the support. This is cholesterol. This is the molecule of cholesterol. And all of these are little hydrogen atoms. We don't look at cholesterol levels using magnets, but you can actually figure out what the molecule looks like, and you can figure out how it reacts with other things in the body. Next slide, please. And this is urine. This is pee-pee. Put in a tube. It's absolutely natural. And believe me.
Boys and girls.
I know it's funny.
Please stop. You all do it.
Yeah,
Stop.
I know it's funny, but this is medicine and it is science. And you need to depend on doctors and scientists to figure out what's in there. Every one of these signals belongs to a different chemical in your body. If a certain chemical goes up, it means that a part of your body is not doing what it's supposed to. It means that your body is not functioning properly. So you have all different parts of your body relate to different signals. Very important, very complex, very difficult. Scientists understand it. Next one. DNA. Who's heard about your DNA? Exactly.
I've heard about RNA.
RNA, DNA.
Ribonucleic
These are all hydrogen atoms. Everything with a hydrogen atom we can look at under a magnet and make scientific discovery. Next slide, please. So what other magnets are in you other than water? Yes?
Lodestone.
Lodestone. I don't have much of that in me. Haven't eaten lodestone recently? Yes. Food? Well, food, but yes, but we've got lots of food, but not all of it is magnetic. Sorry? No? Anyone want to shout out? Go.
Lettuce.
Lettuce. Lettuce might have something magnetic.
Iron.
Next slide, please. But there is something special that you know about. What's this? Okay, who's got iron in them? I hope so, because if you didn't have iron in you, you'd be in trouble, right? Next slide, please. Why is blood red?
That's rusted iron.
Rusted iron. It's an interesting analogy.
It's red because when the air touches it, it turns red.
Okay. Do you know the chemical that might be causing this?
Oxygen.
Oxygen is what part of the blood is involved with dealing with. Let's go to the next slide, please. Hemoglobin. Okay, very complex. This is, again, just a cartoon image of what hemoglobin looks like, but it has chemistry in it called heme. Heme. Next slide, please. Probably you've heard of hemoglobin.
Boys, sit up, please.
Yeah, you've heard of hemoglobin. This is heme, human blood hemoglobin with iron at the center. Okay, this is the chemical look. There's hydrogens here too. There's iron at the center. Do you know why plants are green? Yes. Anyone know?
Oh, magnesium.
Chlorophyll. Brilliant. Plant chlorophyll. Very similar in the molecules, except it has magnesium in the center. Okay? These chemicals are essential for us to live, but we need iron. If we don't have iron in us, we can't put iron in the middle of heme. Heme doesn't function with hemoglobin. Your blood doesn't work properly. You fall apart very quickly. And believe me, when you get to my age, you know what tiredness feels like. And I'm sure all the teachers say, yeah, we need iron once in a while to get our energy going.
What about caffeine?
Caffeine's pretty Right, go for the iron. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. Okay, so why do your parents recommend you eat lots of spinach?
Because Popeye.
Because Popeye. No, it's got something in it. What is it got?
Iron.
Iron. Perfect. Why do your parents recommend cereal? Iron in it. Look. So next time you're looking at your cereal package, look at how much iron it has. Okay? And you want to get cereals that say things like, this one says 25% DV, daily value. Good iron. You need it. Okay? So if this has iron in it, the question is, can we prove it? Next slide, please. So we're going to prove it. I need
Dad, you picked Brady.
somebody to stand out here and face the wall for the next 30 minutes.
Dad, Brady.
Okay. Willingness.
Dad, Brady. Dad, Brady.
Okay.
Dad, Brady.
So what we're going to do is we're going to hand out 2 bags. We're going to pass it around. I need you to be very gentle. Taylor's going to start with one. Brady's going to start with the other. I need you to, no, he's going to bring it to you. He's going to bring it to you, okay? You're all going to be involved. Here's what I need you to do. You can't break the bag or you will make a mess. You need to crush this gently. So hand it around. If you can keep your eye on it.
Just give you a time frame. You've got about 5 minutes.
Perfect. So what we're going to do is you're going to crush it to the point where we try and pull the iron out. So we're going to see, if you can keep the noise down, hold on. We're going to see how strong magnets can be. So,
Boys and girls, this is something you can do at home as well.
so this is magnets, okay? Can you separate these two? So these are very, very small magnets. Excellent. Now there's a trick to what you did, right? There's a trick to what? Karen. Mr. Keller. So Mrs. Keller used a trick. I need one person to stand up. Wait.
Be good listeners,
We've got time. We've got time. Keep crushing that cereal, but don't break the bag, please. Thank you very much. Very tight. Now watch. Guys, come on.
Raise your hand if you're talking. Raise your hand if you're talking. Again. No.
All right, go ahead. Try and break those magnets apart. Now they're only tiny. They're less than a centimeter each. Now, we've got 2 lady teachers who did it like that. Hold on. There's a trick. There is a trick. It's simple stuff. No, Tay, you've got a job out there.
Boys, girls, off the desks. Please sit down.
Okay? Very hard. It's very simple. The trick is not to try and pull them apart. The trick is to split them like that. Okay, hold on. This is a much bigger version of those magnets. You can talk about how tight they were, right?
Yes.
Those were strong magnets.
Extremely strong.
If I took this and I put my hand and I let it go and there was steel behind it, I guarantee I would break my fingers. Guarantee. This is magnets. Magnets are made of it. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this very strong magnet. We're going to take this very strong magnet. We're going to put it in the cereal bags, and we're going to see what happens. If the magnet's working, what's going to happen to it? It's going to pull out what? Iron. And if I move this magnet around the cereal, and I wipe it on a white cloth, and the better way to do this at home, by the way, is to take the cereal and wet it and put it in water.
I told you cereal.
Yeah, we don't have time because we're running over time. But what we're doing is rolling the magnet around. Then we're going to wipe the magnet and we're going to see if it leaves any grey marks. Okay?
See cereal. I told you cereal was going to be on there.
Can I eat it?
I told you Mark was going to be on there.
Can I have the cereal?
What you'll see, they're very small, but you'll see very tiny particles. Very hard to see because it's not wet. Tiny little flecks of light.